Well, your Rockwall Heath Hawks got off to a really hot start against Longview, 14-0, but it went all downhill from there. A tough loss against Longview, 35-21, which sets up a must-win for the Rockwall Heath Hawks this week. Hello, everybody. Chris Curtis here for the Rockwall Sportscenter Halloween edition of your Heath Hawk update. Joined my partner in crime, Steve Deere. And Steve, happy Halloween, by the way, of course. Very spooky situation here coming up for the Hawks as they win or go home. But let's first talk about that Rockwall Heath game versus Longview. Man, it was a great start for Rockwall Heath. They got to a quick start, 14-0. JC Jimerson all over the place. And then it kind of went out of control, and just like that, it was 21-14. And after that, it was nothing much Rockwall Heath could do. They couldn't get back in the game, and it was two giants swinging at each other. And unfortunately, Longview had the final swing, and a very tough loss for Rockwall Heath, which started really good for them.
Yeah, you know, you're right. Got off to a great start. Longview couldn't do anything to stop the Heath attack. Just did anything that they wanted to do. And two quick scores, turnovers. Again, as Troy Mackin calls it, the ball hawks were out on Friday night. Nice interception, down for a touchdown. Pick up a fumble, driving for another touchdown. But then the Hawks decided to be in a giving mood and gave the ball back a couple of times. And turnovers will kill you. And against the Longview, you have to play almost a perfect game. You have to play mistake-free. And for the first quarter, that's what they did, and they were able to capitalize on the mistakes that the Longview made. But then when Heath started making the mistakes and started giving the ball back, especially when you give it to them deep in your own territory inside the 10-yard line, makes it easy on them. And once Hawks did that and Longview was able to capitalize on that, yeah, the Hawks then at that point, well, it was just all Longview after that, like you said.
I mean, you give credit where credit is due. Longview is obviously a very tough ball club. It almost seems like Heath kind of let off the gas, but you kind of like they always say, you got to kick the snake while it's down and just choke it to death. And unfortunately, the Hawks couldn't do that.
Yeah, well, you're right. Longview's a really good team. And, man, we talked about it a lot on the broadcast on Friday night. That massive offensive line, I was looking it up, and I think that the size difference between Longview's offensive line and our D-line, there was something like an average of like 80 pounds per man. Just an incredible difference in size. So once the game got even, and Longview was able to go back into their game plan, which is just grind it out, ground you, and pound you. They were able to get behind that just huge offensive line and just grind out the drives and keep the ball away from the Hawk offense and work to perfection for them. And there was just literally nothing that the Hawks could do because just such a huge size differential. And Hawks played tough. Their defense, they didn't give up many big plays. They were keeping them to the 5, 6, 7 yarders at a max and really played tough and tried to hang in there. But when you just have that huge size differential, there's only so much you can do.
You need to order that, make it order that East Texas beef or something to get those boys beefed up. But of course, very unhappy Coach Moss, I'm sure, this week. Let's hear from him about his team's 35-21 loss to the Longview Lobos.
Our kids battled the whole game. They really battled. They battled through the end. Even they're in the third quarter. We needed to get a score. We needed to get a stop, and I think our kids came out and battled well in the second half. They the whole game. I was very proud of them. It's disappointing that we didn't get the win. Felt like going into that game, either way, either team, we felt like we were equal with them, and they had as good a chance to win as we did, and vice versa. So we didn't get the W, but the good news is we knew going into this ball game this week, Mesquite Horn, that the winner of this game is in the playoffs, and if the loser of this game goes home.
All right, Steve. Well, it does set up a big game for the Rockwall Heath Hawks. It's a little more clear than Rockwall's path this week. It is a win or go home for Rockwall Heath. Their season is on the line, as Mickey texted me earlier this week. Their playoffs start now. This is a playoff game for Rockwall Heath. They have to win this game if they want to extend their season and go to the bi-district round. Once again, I think it would be their third time in a row they'd go to the bi-district round. So what does Rockwall Heath need to do to beat a very tough Jekyll and Hyde? Speaking of Halloween here, you never know what Horn team's going to show up, but it will not be an easy game by any stretch of imagination for the Hawks.
Well, when you think about Mesquite Horn, the first name that comes to mind is Chris Robinson. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I think I was looking up yesterday, number 4 ranked pro-style quarterback in the entire country, committed to OU for next year. He'll pick you apart. He's very accurate. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's very patient. He can find multiple receivers. So what do the Hawks need to do to slow down and to have a chance against Mesquite Horn? You got to beat Chris Robertson. You got to shut him down. You got to put pressure on him. He is the type of guy that if you allow him to stand back there without any pressure, he will pick you apart. So Coach Strom and the defensive coaches are going to have to come up with some creative ways this week to put some pressure on him. Maybe bring some blitzes or some pressure from different angles that will confuse him and can get him out of his comfort zone. That's going to be the key. I think that the Hawk offense will be able to move it on Horn. I think they're going to be able to score. Horn's giving up an average of over 40 points a game. You can definitely move the ball and score on those guys. The key to beating Horn is outscore them and limit their opportunities on offense. So if the Hawks are able to hang on to the ball, as has been their pattern and their formula for winning this year, if they're able to hang on to the ball, keep it out of the Horn offense's hands, and put points on the board, and on the other side, get some stops, slow down Chris Robinson and his core of receivers, Hawks will have a good chance.
John Tyler did face Horn last week, and they just manhandled them. Yeah. I believe it was by 40 points. So
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Know how that goes.
So they came off of a loss. Rockwall Heath comes off of a loss. So now they both set up where they must win. Let's take a look at the District 11 6A standings real quick. John Tyler is your 11 6A champions this year. Their only loss was to Rockwall in District this year, and then followed by Longview, which took care of Rockwall Heath and Rockwall this year. So they are your number 2 seed. But unfortunately, those 2 schools are Division 2, so they are gone. They're not really in the picture for any of the other 4 schools fighting for a playoff spot, which include Horn, North Mesquite, Rockwall, and Rockwall Heath. So basically what happens for Rockwall Heath is they have to win this game if they want to go to the playoffs. If not, they are out. The season will end. Now, if they do win and Rockwall wins, both teams are in, and Rockwall Heath will be the number 2 seed, which means they will be traveling to the Woodlands, it looks like, which are ranked number 4 in the great state of Texas. So, Steve, a lot to kind of dissect here for Rockwall Heath, but it basically doesn't happen unless Rockwall Heath does win.
Well, yeah, a lot to dissect, a lot to look at. But, hey, something that I want to just make sure and mention. First year in 6A for Heath, moving up. Everybody talked about, hey, it's a different animal. You're in 6A now. You're playing with the big boys now. Toughest district, or one of the toughest districts in the state. Anybody going into this year that would have said Heath would have been going into the final week of the year with an opportunity to secure a playoff spot in the toughest district in the state in 6A, I think anybody would have taken that. And so we're right where anybody would have wanted us to be going into the final week. Everything on the line. Opportunity is all ahead of us. Masters of our own fate, so to speak. It's going to be a big week, and the Hawks have an excellent opportunity to really come away and make this a special year still. So, again, I'm going to say what I've been saying for the last several weeks. Support the boys. Let's get out there. Let's let them feel the energy. It's all ahead of them still, and I think they have an opportunity this week to start something special.
Energy was definitely there on Friday night, so mad props to the dark side and all of them. And you did mention a very interesting fact that I know the Dallas Sporting News picked Rockwall Heath to be second to last in this district. Dave Campbell, second to last. So now you and I mentioned this going into the start of the year. If you're in this thing on the very end of last week 10, essentially, which we thought Rockwall Heath was going to be in that mix of with the new offense and everything kind of surprising people, this is exactly where you want this team to be, the right time of year. Your playoffs do start now, so you have to start winning, and there's no tomorrow, basically, for this team. So this is going to be a very, very big week. So bring the noise, bring the funk, as we always say. Bring the face paint, bring the flags, bring the noise, and let's get out there on Friday night. And I believe it's at Hamby, correct?
That's correct.
Hamby. So get out there and let's cheer on your Rockwall Heath Hawks.
And if you can't make it out, listen in, right?
At www.rockwallisd.com. See, now you got the flow of things now. And of course, big plans obviously here for Rockwall Heath football. Of course, volleyball does start tomorrow. They start their state championship run on Palestine. So you can listen in also at www.rockwallisd.com. So mad props and very exciting times. Basketball's kicked off. We're getting good now. So exciting times for sure.
Yeah, just one more thing about Friday night. I actually think that this is a good matchup for the Hawks. Defense is the calling card for the Hawks. Coach Strom always puts a strong defense out there. I think that they have a good opportunity to limit what Horn can do. Offense, if they do what they usually do and they're able to put their speed out there, really utilize the offense and put some points on the board, I really, really feel good about the Hawks' chances on Friday night. I think that we're going to be seeing them, either in the Woodlands or at home at Wilkerson Sanders next week. I really feel good about Friday night.
And it's really crazy how it kind of came down to the final week where the 4 teams fighting for the playoff spots are actually playing each other.
That's
so
neat.
kind of
That's really cool, actually.
That's
yeah.
kind of spooky in a way, right? I mean, trying to play off the Halloween thing, but
I've noticed that,
November comes in tomorrow, thank goodness. So the best time of year. But of course, once again, you can make it out to the game. It's www.rockwallisd.com, where we expect to see all of our Heath Hawk fans and all of Heath Hawk Nation out at Hamby Stadium, 7:30 this Friday night. The calendar flips to November, which means exciting football times here for Rockwall ISD. So let's get out to the stands, pack them, and cheer on your Heath Hawks. Any final thoughts? Hopefully this is not the second to last Rockwall Sportscenter we have, but of course, any final thoughts? A very, very big game, biggest of the year by far.
No, like I said, I really feel good about our chances Friday night, and I encourage everybody either get out there or listen in and support them, and let's go on a run here.
All right, the run starts this Friday. We'll see you at Hamby. Until then, don't forget, go Heath Hawks. Have a great week, everybody. See you later.